church. Is that the right place to meet people? He kept chasing me. I proposed to her at a church camp down in Arkansas. Drove a long way down there only to forget the ring. Had to call a friend from Arkansas and say, hey, would you mind driving down to Arkansas with a ring on it? And he did.
Is that pro?
No, not that ring. No, not the one to control them all. Okay, well, we're almost there. It's about time to check and see how close I am, because I really don't want to go beyond. You see I've left a little flat edge on each side. That's good. That's what we want. A little tear out. This tear out's going to be at the very interior eventually, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't want it, but it's not something I'm worried about at this point. So I've got just another, not even a quarter inch to go in. Okay, and I told you not to do not to do flat cuts, and I'm doing flat cuts. Okay, and now, let's take a look at it, see how close I am. Got just a little bit left, too much here, and I'm real close there. Now, I haven't talked about going uphill or downhill. When I first heard that term in wood turning, I didn't understand it. Don't know that I do yet, but if you see there's just a slight curve here, if I cut back this way, kind of going uphill, I'm tearing those fibers this way, and there's a likelihood I'm going to tear out more going that way. It's better to go down towards the center than to be going up against the curve. If that makes any sense to you. So you'll see it at times that as you're going along and it starts pulling more out than you want. That's probably because you're going uphill instead of downhill. And you'll see I'm going to change my angle from being down this way, being up this way, because now I want to get a smoother cut. The pieces that are flying off now have more of a curly Q kind of shape to them. Even the sound and the feel, everything's just the way it's supposed to be there. Okay, we're almost. That was just a test for the flat side. Okay, let's take a look. All right, we're rounded. Okay. So now you really start having to think about what your design looks like. I want to, looking at that flat edge there, tells me that's where the two ends will meet up. So the two sides are going to match up. I don't want to lose that flat edge. It's crucial to this thing working. I'm going to kind of think that it's something like this. So again, I'm mostly leaving marks that I can see how high or what's the entire height. So here's the bucket part, there's the stem, and there's the tree right there. And we're going to try and put a little star on top of it. Okay. So I can take off that much to start with. The nearest point is going to be right here where the trunk of the tree is. And now I'm just going in for my gap. I'm not too concerned about any details at this point. I just realized now why this is uncomfortable. All week that I've been practicing, I've had a table. When you look at where my elbow is, this is way too high for me. I really need to be up about here, but I'm not going to do this on my tiptoes. But anyway, that just dawned on me now. So again, of all things I could forgive, that's not too bad. I remember the keys to the trailer. And that was important.
Robert, if you were using a
Yeah, good second. Asking it.
if you were using a harder wood,
Yeah.
would it be at a faster speed or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. I think it depends on how comfortable you are with your blade handling. But you could, and certainly it seems to me, and maybe somebody else would want to talk to this, for just removing wood, it's nice to have it going faster. If you just have a lot of chunks to remove, but is that, Ernie, would you say that if, when you're really trying to use the big gouge, roughing gouge?
You want to start out fast if you've got corners.
Yeah.
You need to take the corners off at slower speed.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Yeah.
Would you like two?
Two would be better, but this is going to be, oh, wow.
Now I've got to get higher up.
Yeah, you need one for Mike also. Yeah, Ernie was making a good point that when you have those corners on there, when it's going faster, boy, you could really hit it too hard. You're cutting air about half the time, so you've got to go slow and careful into it. And, I wouldn't do that at a high speed. And I don't just say that because my wife's here. You see, even I'm using a cutoff tool just because I need that depth. But even using this little bit, I'm going to tilt it as much as I can to try and get a shear cut to it. Okay, let's take a look at our profile and see how we're doing. So, looks like I went down too far on that. So I'm going to have a little gap there. Can you see that? Is that showing up on the... So it looks like a arborvitae or something. Doesn't look like a Christmas tree yet. We'll get the right shape in a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to start using my detail gouge because I want to start putting some shape to the branches. Never move your tool rest while the lathe's spinning. When you're doing a shear cut, the most dangerous point is when you're right on an edge because the wood's going to pull you this way. So once I get an edge, I want to stay away from it. Leave it alone because I don't need to push my luck. Okay, it's looking Christmassy. Nope. There's that edge I was warning you about.
Just did that to make it feel
Yeah, you feel better now, Mark? All right. Again, you'll be so much more careful in your demo than I will be. I think I got a knot or something, maybe just some tear out there. You have to look at it. Okay. Everybody get the idea that it's a Christmas tree? Okay. Now, sanding it, finishing it. This is your last chance to do anything on the interior. So whatever you want to do with it, now's the time. You can run your sandpaper in here, do your finish, whatever else. But once you take it off here, you're not going to be getting to this interior again. So I'm not going to because we're at the library and it's dim and all. But, okay, step one is done. Now, I understand that wood turners are frugal. And so you notice when I pull that off, I save it as if I'm going to use it again.
As you have Ernie sitting in front of you.
Because Ernie's here and I've learned under the master. All right, now I had it super glued, but you can see. Now, if you'd used some of the accelerator and all, it would have stuck better. It would have been harder than that. Sometimes you do have to put a chisel there to snap it apart. But again, in my mind, for that first one, the real strength is in the tape on it. So the point to me for using the glue is I don't want it to twist. The tape won't keep it from twisting, but the glue should. So, all right. See? I have not, because to me the super glue works so well. But so on the paper, do you put a piece of paper and use wood glue on each side of the paper and glue it up, and then when it does it tears the paper. So yeah.
Robert, could you use a scroll chuck on one end of it to help hold it a little bit?
A scroll chuck.
Well, I mean, just use a 4-jaw chuck on it.
Yeah, you could. Of course, in my mind, you'd have to get it round first, and to me, it's like, well, that takes too long. So now, you've kept a flat edge on this, and now I just squeezed a lot of glue. One of the things you'll discover is once you're on the inside, it's going to be really hard to get that glue out. So you glue them up and then clean it up before you glue it all together. So the best way to do it, I'm going to do 2 of these, and I'm going to let them set and dry somewhere. Then I'm going to do the other 2. Mash them around a little, spread the glue evenly and perfectly. You probably will clamp these up, and the most important thing you're going to do is make sure that it's perfectly smooth on the inside, because you get that off and you're messed up. Okay, you let those sit for a day or whatever you do for your own personal preference. Okay. Now, here's my tape. This is what I use for a clamp, things like this.